Hi, I'm Jay Clayfolk. I'm the CEO of the Model T Ford Club of America. The members of the Model T Ford Club of America actually own the Model T Museum. And this weekend we're having a homecoming. This was from 2008 when we had our centennial celebration. We've had people who want to come back to Richmond, come enjoy the fun, the friendliness, the hospitality here. And we did two before this, kind of a low theme, not much fanfare. This time we decided to have two days of tours. We went just locally on Thursday. It was about a 40-mile trip. On Friday, went someplace in the neighborhood of 110, 120 miles from Richmond to Connersville to Metamora to Oxford to Houston Woods and then back, just enjoying the backcountry roads, and everybody's had a great time. This is when we had our centennial celebration here in Wayne County. We had a difficult time convincing Ford Motor Company that they should have their 100th celebration of their most famous car, the Model T, in Wayne County. And this was actually several years we had to convince them. They sent a team down and actually spent a few days here. And we took them around. Our whole purpose was we wanted to have a centennial celebration where people brought their cars. This wasn't going to be just static displays. We wanted people to hear them, see them, smell them, and the owners to drive them. And this is a little bit like stepping back in time. These are some beautiful backcountry roads. That we have the Amish out with their horses, so it's almost like stepping back in time. And the people here are so friendly. We get calls every day about how lucky you are that you moved to Wayne County, or you moved to Richmond. So it's just a great place. The people here have been so friendly to all the people who've come in from out of town, and we're just so comfortable having them come here. I have to admit, a little nerve-wracking organizing all this because it's gotten a little bigger, and I think we're going to do it again next year. I'm not going to ask my volunteers just yet if we can do it again, but let things calm down a little bit. We'll see what we can do. But everybody loves Richmond. They really do. Well, and I think it shows. I don't know how many cars we have here today, Eric. I'm sure we had over 100 yesterday on the tour. And then we have others who didn't go out on the tour but just drove around town. So, and I don't have a final count, but we've had a great turnout. The weather's been nice, so we're having fun. We have people, as of the night before last, and it's probably changed, we have people in here from 19 states. We have people in here from Canada. We have some people from Austria that have been here. But in fact, we have a couple who are staying with us who are from Arizona and New Mexico. I have several people here from California, Florida, Texas, New York, Maine. Like I said, it was 19 states as of the night before last. So.
Get set. Go. This car is a 1926 Roadster. It was specially modified by a group in West Virginia who put this show on for a number of years. They got tired of doing this show, advertised this car for sale. Sam Atkinson saw it and thought it would be a good fit for our club.
Have you been inside of music?
We bought this car about 2005 and have been doing this show ever since. This engine that you see putting in there is a 177 cubic inch engine. It's only 4-to-1 compression, so it only makes 20 horses. Anybody has any questions about the Model T or Ford during this time, please shout it out and I'll try to answer it for you. Most of you guys are Model T members. We got a whole bunch of Model Ts here today. Also a bunch of Model T parts for sale. It's always fun. What we're doing is a representation of how cars were built before 1914. 5 guys would build a car in one spot. Actually, 4 guys would do the assembly and 1 would get the parts. And that's what the build floor was. A whole bunch of spots where cars were being built. In August of 1913, Ford started experimenting with the final assembly line. He had 3 assembly lines in use by April of 1914. Assembling a car with 5 gentlemen in one spot usually took 1.5 men, usually took 9.5 man hours to build. When the assembly line got started, he brought that from 9.5 man hours down to 93 man minutes, which was quite a savings. And instead of pocketing the extra profit, Ford lowered the price of his cars by $50. First Model T shipped is September the 28th, 1908. It's a 1909 model. First Model T touring cars cost $850. And that was without a roof, without a windshield, and without headlights. Those were extras. My 1925 Touring cost $290 new. That was with a windshield, headlights, and roof. If you wanted a starter, that was $65 extra. If you wanted demountable wheels, that was $20 extra. And the demountable wheels got you 5 wheels and 4 tires. If you actually wanted a spare tire on that spare wheel, you bought that from the dealer.
Not on the car.
So Ford was always looking for a way to reduce the cost of his car, reduce the build time, but to up the quality. And if you notice, a 1909 Model T is quite a different looking car than a 1927. You can squat your
Yeah.
cough and pay up to $5 a day.
Been on there ever since.
So even then, Ford was trying to get in our lives.
Probably in the Easter show.
It's always been on there.
I've done this show so many times, I'm standing here with the stage phone. Some of the questions I get asked is colors of Model Ts, because the saying is Ford said you can have any color you want as long as it's black. That was true from 1914 through 1920, mid-1926.
You know, I was just looking at
Before 1914,
I told you every day on that.
red, blue, or black. There was a time when the production was all green or all black, but it was
I've never
very,
been
very dark
in this
blue,
town.
dark green. By 1926, sales were down, that Ford actually started selling car colors, trying to boost sales up. We're speeding right along here.
And I think when they
What kind of time we got? We got 6:45.
Yeah, right. You can that off and get that.
Yeah, it ain't finished yet. We're getting ready to start it now.
The beauty of the Model T is Henry Ford would be really happy because Model T Ford is the most affordable antique car that you can buy. They're inexpensive to maintain. Nearly every part is still manufactured today. And they're easy to work on. It's the only thing I have left around my house I can still work on. It doesn't have a computer. But it's a fun hobby. There's something magical about it. And we have people who are wealthy who are in the hobby. We have people who are, quite honestly, very poor. But it doesn't matter. You still have a Model T, so it's kind of like the great equalizer. There's no caste system in this hobby. We're all the same. We all have a Model T, and we're out to have fun. And if you have a hobby that you enjoy, and you smile, and you drive your hobby, your Model T down the road, you make somebody else smile. It doesn't get any better than that. That's truly a win-win situation. You're having fun. People who see you are having fun. And it's part of history. It changed the world. Well, the museum, we're very fortunate with the help of the city, and we are now down in the Depot District, which is a very vibrant area right now and full of history. So I think we kind of fit in because, you know, this is, we're talking about the Model T, which is history. And it's the people who come to the Depot District, for the most part, have an appreciation for history. They may not be totally interested in a Model T Ford, but they come just to see what we have. And what we do is we have and it's a changing environment, but we have one of the very first Model Ts that was ever built, the 337th. Now it's 337 out of 15 million of them. So this was a very early car. In fact, the earliest Model T that the Henry Ford Museum has is number 847. So we have one that's 500 earlier than the Henry Ford Museum has, and it's actually quite nicer. We have a Model N, which is an NRS, which was the car that preceded the Model T. So you can see Ford was building cars. The Model T was obviously not their first car. So you can kind of see the progression, the evolution. And then we have one of the first 1909s. We have a 1914, which is the first year of the moving assembly line. So you can see the transition from going individually built into a production line. We have a variety of, we have a 1923 center door sedan, and it has, the door is right in the center, it's not in the front, so the driver actually has to get in front of the back seat and walk around. But it's a totally original car. It's unchanged, it was put away, and you can see what it looked like when it was new. Maybe little rust flakes here and there, but it's, in fact, I almost felt bad. We washed it, and I'm thinking that was probably 1923 dirt that was on it. But we also have, now the Model T was also built not just in the United States, but in 12 other countries. And we have an English-built, this right-hand drive Model T town car. And it was in the movie Chariots of Fire back in the mid-'80s. And it was also in the BBC series Upstairs, Downstairs. And so it's got a little history. But we also have them the way Ford built them, but we also have them the way they got used. We have a fire truck. We have a snowmobile. Actually, we have a couple of snowmobiles. Farm trucks, a variety of vehicles. We even have an airplane. And the reason we have the airplane is it has a Model T engine in it. There was a company in Minnesota owned by a gentleman named Bernard Petenpole. And he and Henry Ford had a lot of similarities. Henry thought everybody should be able to own and drive a car, and Bernard Petenpole thought everybody should own and fly an automobile. And they were both just obsessed with cost. And Bernard Petenpole bought a Model T engine for $5 and built an airplane around it. And you can still buy plans for them. So we have the serial number 1 with a Model T engine in it. And it's flyable. We aren't going to, but it is flyable. We could if we wanted to. But you can still buy Petenpole plans today. They're still building them. Not many with Model T engines, but Subaru engines appear to be the choice right now. But anyway, you can see what it looked like. This one was built in 1931. So we have a little bit of variety. The one thing about the Pete and Pull I have to point out, and I show this to people, there's a water outlet that goes from the Model T engine to the radiator, and it's cast. And on the side of it, it said, Great States Corporation, Richmond, Indiana. So this part on this Model T engine and this airplane, the built in Minnesota, the water pipe was built in Richmond, Indiana. I thought, when I first saw it, I said, this is destined. This plane was destined to come back to Indiana. But the other thing about, we talk about the car, and people think, wow, it was built in Detroit. Richmond during the teens and 20s, even in the 30s, was a significant producer of automotive parts. We have just water pumps. We have 6 aftermarket water pumps that were brand names that were made in Richmond. We have some other parts that were made in Richmond, accessories for timers, which are like distributors, and so there's a lot of history about Richmond in this museum. And that's one of the things that we want to point out, that this community was truly a vibrant, active part of the early automobile industry. You've got, of course, the Wayne Works produced buses. And you go to the Wayne County Historical Museum, I think there were 19 different makes of cars in Wayne County. And the Wayne County Historical Museum has an example of just about all of them. And we like to work together. They have a couple of Model Ts. In fact, we jointly own a Model T speedster that the kids at the high school built. But it's there's so much history, and it's fun, and we've got to look back. You want to know where you're going. You really need to know where you've been and take a look at what this town was. And it can be, again, it's a lot of innovation, and there are a lot of innovative people then and now here. So we try and bring out the positive. This isn't, not that this is all was in the past. We still have the capability of greatness here. We just have to work it.